All right, welcome back. You're watching Street Smart on Bloomberg TV India. Joining us this morning is Ajay Bodke, Head Investment Strategy and Advisory for Prabhudas Lilladher. Ajay, morning. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us. Clearly, the big event, Ajay, in the next few days is what we're tracking in terms of the union budget. But before that, we also have the rail budget today in the next couple of hours itself. Any key expectation from the rail budget out here? Because, Ajay, the market seems to be working with the fact to take a cue from this rail budget itself is as to how far will the government actually go in terms of reforms. You think in that sense the rail budget is going to be crucial?
Good morning, Priyank. I tend to fully agree with you. I think I don't remember over the past many years when so much energies of the market are focused on the rail budget. I think the market has a lot riding on the rail budget because the BJP in its manifesto and its pronouncements thereafter have been emphasizing that railways will be the key part of infrastructure, and rightly so, because successive governments for the last 10 years have ignored this extremely vital cog in the infrastructure sector, and most of the time I think the railway ministry was manned by coalition partners of the Congress, and a large amount of populism was resorted to. Without, as a result of which, I think the finances of the railways are in a shambles, and the Honorable Finance Minister is right in his assertion that we need to take tough decisions to restore the the financial health of the railways. And towards that, I think 2 or 3 things the market is looking forward to. The first is the tariff setting authority, insofar as the independent regulator is concerned, I think needs to get going. And in line with, in my opinion, the incremental increases that one is seeing in diesel prices every month, I think in case of rail fares also, passenger as well as freight rates, I think whatever is the increase in cost, the same needs to be passed in small doses on monthly basis. That would depoliticize both the passenger fares and the freight hikes from the clutches of populism. The second issue that we are expecting is there has hardly been any investments, be it in signaling equipment, be in addition of new wagons or new rail lines. And I think that is the focus that the government has to ensure that the migration of freight, which has moved in favor of roads as against railways, whereas worldwide it is the other way around, because the turnaround time is faster and it is far cheaper for freight to move on railways. So the government needs to put in place policies that will start the migration back to the railways from the road sector. The third point is, of course, speeding up the passenger traffic, where the government has taken a very good initiative of increasing the speed of trains wherever possible. For instance, there is a talk of Delhi to Agra being covered in a fraction of the time that it currently takes, by speeding up the rail to 160 kilometers per hour. The same needs to be replicated in the other routes. And of course, the fourth and most important is the golden quadrilateral that Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about, with the assistance, if necessary, of Japan in terms of building these corridors.
Fair. All right, Ajay.
And the dedicated freight network, of course. The last point is the dedicated freight network. Okay. We need to see tangible progress in case of both the Western freight corridor as well as in case of Eastern freight corridor, where the financing is in place, but now we need to expedite the work on both the corridors. In the Eastern freight corridor through World Bank, Western freight corridor through the Japanese agency JICA.
All right. Fair enough, Ajay. Just hold that thought. We're going to discuss more in terms of a couple of the stocks that one needs to keep an eye out for, but that's coming up after the short break. Stay tuned.
in association with LIC of India. LIC का हो साथ तो फिक्र की छोड़ो बात.
If you look at from the budget perspective, one opportunity is to classify real estate as infrastructure. The infrastructure status would mean better access to loans from banks, cheaper cost of capital. The other is a whole rationalization of the tax structure that exists today for housing. In the last 3 to 4 years, we've had a significant amount of new taxes being introduced, whether it's service tax, whether it is VAT in terms of finished products, and all of this is adding up a good 15-20% to the cost structure of housing. So I think if some of these can be addressed again.
Bloomberg TV India goes live on the Bloomberg terminal. Stay connected to the world's most influential.
Welcome back to the big story. Mauritius as an Uday Kotak, Executive Vice Chairman, says 15 current account.
Get the unbeatable edge with Bloomberg TV India. Will Budget 2014 be a game changer for you, the investors and taxpayers? How will it impact your money? Will it leave you better off or worse? Expectations are high, but will they walk the talk? Budget and you.
In association with LIC of India, LIC का हो साथ तो फिक्र की छोड़ो बात.
Hello, welcome back. You're watching Street Smart on Bloomberg TV India. Just counting down to the pre-open. We've got a couple of minutes left, just a minute or so left as far as the pre-open session is concerned. You can see the SGX Nifty has been indicating that the markets could actually carry that momentum today as well. 0.2% higher is what we're seeing as far as the SGX Nifty is concerned. But in terms of what we're seeing as far as the pre-open is concerned, remember a couple of stocks are going to be on the radar. We've been talking about the railway stocks. That's going to be something that one needs to keep an eye out for. You've also got some news flow coming in on stocks like IDFC, which had run up quite sharply. That stock, remember, was up almost 7% or 6.5% yesterday, is what we'd seen on IDFC on the back of a certain brokerage upgrade. So that also will be on the radar in terms of the way trade would actually be playing out for that counter. IT stocks have got active. TCS, Infosys, Wipro, the top three on the Sensex, all of them, there you go. Look at the run-up that we've seen on these counters yesterday. So let's see if they can actually maintain that momentum in trade today or not as far as the IT counters are concerned. The FMCG stocks also will be something to watch out for. So let's see how action plays out there. And the banking counters are actually lost out a little bit yesterday. You've seen some cuts coming in on SBI, ICICI Bank, even Axis for that matter, had seen a little bit of a cut in terms of trade yesterday. The Bank Nifty overall being a little bit on the losing end. Let's see. Remember, HDFC Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank were some of the other big losers that we've seen in terms of the big large cap banks itself. So that's the other pocket in the market. But beyond this, you also want to keep your eyes out for a whole host of the stocks from the cement pack as well. They'll be on the radar. Let's see how that plays out. Currency is shot at 60.015 is what we've seen as far as the currency cues were concerned. We've got a couple of seconds left in terms of the opening quotes itself. Let's try and pull up the pre-open coming up right now in terms of the benchmark indices there and the way that's shaping up as far as the currency is concerned. You've got a little bit, still waiting for the cues to come, the quotes to come in there, but on the equity bit, you've seen a little bit of an uptick on the Sensex, 17 to 18 points. Keep an eye on the Nifty if it can actually hit 7,800 or not. We'll just wait for that to stabilize a little bit in terms of the Nifty code there. But the Sensex is picking up a little bit of an upward trajectory, 61 points higher. If the Nifty does catch that, you probably have 7,800 very soon or on opening itself on the screen. All right, let's talk about a couple of the stocks that are on the move. Cement counters are seeing some traction. Banking counters are seeing a little bit of a recovery trade is what we're seeing right now in terms of the way it's playing out. The currency is also strengthened a little bit. 59.97 is what we're seeing in terms of the opening cues as far as the rupee is concerned. Anu's also joining in right now. Anu, some marginal strength coming in on the currency today.
Some relief on the currency front. We did see a surprising amount of selling yesterday, which took us back to 60. 59.80 is the pivot point that a lot of dealers are telling us at this point, which should be maintained going into the budget. But largely over the year, there should be an appreciation bias to the kind of money that we've gotten in. We already spoke to our market guru of the day, who was also indicating that the retail money is coming back into this market and that as well should propel up the currency. The 10-year bond not yet announced. We had another auction announcement yesterday, which comes in on the 11th of this week, which is interesting. Because you'll have the budget borrowing by that point, which would be slightly higher. But Priyank, no 10-year yet. That's supposed to come in low. I think that's what the market is essentially waiting by quietly. If we make it through the day at 59.80, that's definitely very good news for Mr. Jaitley, because then the market is getting more confident of the budget.
All right, Arun, thanks for getting us those updates there as far as the currency is concerned, what we're keeping an eye out for. But the pre-open, at least on the Sensex, suggesting that the markets could once again start off a little bit on the high side. There you go, Sensex up 43, 44 points is what we're seeing so far. Let's wait for the Nifty to stabilize a little bit and get a little bit of a much more realistic picture in terms of the way it's shaping up, seeing a cut of almost 2%. We'll have to wait for that to stabilize and then properly address it. But we've been in conversation with Ajay Bodke, Head Investment Strategy and Advisory at Prabhudas Lilladher. Now, Ajay, the big question here, we were talking about the rail budget and what one needs to keep an eye out for. But the bigger event here is the union budget in the next couple of days. Any key expectations of the market will be tracking very closely this time around?
I think there are 5 key issues that I'm looking forward to in the union budget. One is the roadmap for medium-term fiscal consolidation.
All right.
And therein, I think 2 issues. Emphasis on revenue deficit, because the consolidation in fiscal numbers has been achieved by the previous government by massively slashing plan expenditure by 80,000 crores last year and 1 lakh crores the year before that. I think, what the market is looking forward to, what is the increase in plan expenditure to help kickstart the infrastructure growth in the country, and how do you contain the ballooning subsidy burden, i.e. how do you control the revenue deficit. The second expectation I have is what is the fillip to the labor-intensive manufacturing sector that the government provides through incentivizing ease of doing business and cutting the ticket of procedural bottlenecks. The third is amendment to Land Acquisition Act, not in terms of the compensation, but in terms of how do you crunch the time taken by bringing in amendments that leave aside the relief and rehabilitation procedures which could drag on for years on end and scuttle any new projects for land acquisition for projects. The fourth point is FDI in defense, insurance and parts of railways. How bold the government is on these issues. And lastly, what I'm expecting is the scrapping of regressive retrospective tax amendments and end to tax terrorism, as some tax experts have put it, insofar as transfer pricing is concerned.
All right, so that's as far as the key expectations are concerned. But, Ajay, somewhere down the line, one probably needs to look at the fact here that markets have also run up quite a bit. I mean, we're talking of huge gains on a year-to-date basis when we talk about the benchmark indices at least. You think that's probably a point of worry as well, the way markets have actually just run up purely in terms of the expectations?
Of course, I think there's a burden of Himalayan expectations riding on the maiden budget of the government.
True.
Markets already have moved from 6,200 to 7,800. We are today trading at 16.1 times 1 year forward earnings of 484 rupees. And the last 10 years average is 14.7, 14.8 times. We are already running at 10% premium to last 10 years average. And hence the market has, in my opinion, discounted a lot of positives. And there are 3 key worries hovering over us. One, obviously, the fiscal space is very limited to the government. Fiscal deficit in the first 2 months is already at 46%, vis-a-vis 33% in the same period last year. Out of 36 meteorological subdivisions, we have scanty rainfall in 11 till now. We have deficient rainfall in 18 and normal rainfall only in 7 meteorological subdivisions. And the total weighted rainfall from 1st of June till now is 43% down vis-a-vis the same time last year. And especially in the rice bowl of coastal Andhra and in central India, especially Maharashtra, Western MP and Gujarat, the situation is really worrisome, with the deficits being as high as 75 to 80% in these areas. So I think one will need to take that in mind. And also, if you see that the sowing numbers released just yesterday, you will see that the sowing till 5th of July, area under acreage, area under sowing is only 182 lakh hectares, vis-a-vis 401 lakh hectares, a drop of around 55%. And in some key crops like rice, it is down 35%, from 69 lakh hectares to 45 lakh hectares. In case of core cereals, it is down 57%, from 66 lakh hectares to 27 lakh hectares. And most worrisome is in case of oilseeds and pulses. the two main items that contribute to rise in inflation. In oilseeds, it is down 87% from 110 lakh hectares to 14.5 lakh hectares only. And in case of pulses, it is down 59% from 18.4 lakh hectares to 7.5 lakh hectares. So so that one needs to temper one's enthusiasm. Although I am bullish in the medium term, I would rather sort of be circumscribed in terms of going overboard and go into the budget very, very cautiously.
Sure. So Ajay, then on the back of that, two stocks out here that you've been recommending clients that have been on the radar right now, looking at the way markets have been shaping up. Two stocks.
Yes, I think I would look at some of the capital goods sector, companies like Cummins India and Larsen & Toubro. In case of agri, I think I will be looking at companies like UPL and PI Industries. In case of IT, I think the wobbly rupee also is giving us hope that, and plus the improvement in America and Europe or European economies, that you should have some allocations to companies like Wipro, Tech Mahindra, and in mid-cap IT, KPIT Cummins is what we are positive on. Motherson Sumi continues to remain buy for us, and in banking, we would bet on large banks like HDFC Bank and Axis Bank, and in mid-caps, Federal Bank.
All right, Ajay, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for joining in this morning with your perspective on the markets and stocks that you're working with right now. That's a view coming in from Prabhudas Leeladhar. But well, take a look at the pre-open and the kind of levels it's throwing up. Nifty at 7,800 is what we're seeing in the pre-open. There you go. That's another big milestone that the Nifty's actually managed to scale, with the Sensex crossing 26,000 yesterday. It's Nifty's turn today to break another milestone. 7,800 record high levels once again is what we're seeing. Markets have been hovering around that for some time now, is what we've been seeing. But that's just a pre-open. Let's wait for the live trading to kickstart in the next couple of minutes. But when we come back, we'll be in conversation with Gaurang Shah of Geojit BNP Paribas Financial Services and get his perspective as well on this market. Stay tuned.